You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
This is Randy. In the future, my future predictions will be so futuristic, you'll need a future prediction to tell what it was after I already said it.
This is Melanie. And in the future, you won't have to worry about passing that drug test to get the job, because the jobs will be the ones giving out the prescriptions, so they know they'll have workers that can do more, sleep less, and still be numb and happy.
And this is Jesse. When Grawlix Podcast updates their privacy policy, we'll just release the podcast as usual, except we'll Grawlix all names, dates, and generally pertinent information.
Oh, that's so funny. I have been updating our privacy policy. GDPR, man. It's a bunch of GDPR, if you ask me.
So do you have to update our privacy policy, whatever that is?
Technically, if you service users at all in the UK, you're supposed to.
And we do.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We're big in Germany.
Yeah, we're huge. We're like the David Hasselhoff of podcast.
I was just going to say.
Germany and Canada, they love us.
And Japan.
Speaking of Baywatch is available on Prime. So I literally have to pay nothing to go ahead and watch that movie, and I still don't want to.
Yeah, you heard my review on it. It's not. There's a couple laughs, but man, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so dumb.
It exists, but it should not. It should be one of the half.
Instead, I'm going to watch Predator 2.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Even Predator 2, I would, do that one.
Still more stars than a Baywatch.
I wonder what I would give Predator. I'm kind of interested.
Would it be like 3.25?
Mm-mm.
No. 3.75?
No. At least that's better than a 2.9.
Oh, that's right.
2.8.
2.9. Just
at least a quarter's better than
a little bit of the top of the star.
Tenth. So it's a little bit
not there. Not there.
Jasper. Oh, he's so silly sometimes.
I think you guys should do a cinematic universe that is just sequels.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying on...
But Evil Dead 2 doesn't count, right?
No, it's basically its own thing.
Right.
Evil Dead 2 is such an interest... Yeah, because it's a sequel make. A re-sequel.
Yeah.
Kind of. Which would be the first time that movie was remade.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. I think it was last week's Grawlix Cinematic Universe. I talked about... I mean, it's kind of why the cinematic universe... Why that podcast exists. Why the theme is that. But I find it so odd that almost every time we pick a set of movies, we have to be like, all right, which one? We're going to do Predator and Terminator. Okay, which ones? And actually, I guess it's kind of rare that this next one, which would be Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie and Cabin in the Woods, that's one of the very few cases where neither is multiple movies.
Well, Cabin in the Woods can't be. And the other one had a TV series, so that's kind of like a sequel.
Yeah, but if you give me the option to do the TV series, Jasper would be watching a lot of Buffy.
Right.
I am aware. And
he wouldn't do it. He would put up with it. Jasper makes me nervous. The same exact way Melanie makes me nervous every episode.
What?
I'm always like, Jasper, so did you watch these movies yet, Jasper? Yeah, no, I watched them. Okay. How'd you watch them? I watched them the other day on YouTube. Oh, okay. You rent them? Yeah. Then I don't think he did. I think he waits till like the night before and then he actually watches them. Hey, dude, turn on Plex. Why? What are you watching?
Yep.
Don't you lie to me. That's not what Melanie does. Melanie just doesn't read it till the day of, but
yeah,
it's still, either way, it makes me nervous.
I get through it though, almost always. Even today, I woke up like 3 hours early and slept through them all, almost. Slept through the first 2 hours that I got up.
Oh, you woke up and then fell back asleep when you went to read it?
Came out here, started reading it, passed out while I was reading it, and then finished it after you woke me up.
Is that your review of what we're talking about today?
The end.
No.
Hey, welcome to the Grawlix podcast, episode number 71. Wow.
71. Whoa, we are getting there.
Yep.
We're like about to get. Wait, no, wait. when
Are
do
we
you get
there
Social
yet?
Security?
No.
Social
Are
Security.
we getting there? Yes.
Social Security at age 103.
Probably by the time
We
get there.
won't get any.
No, we won't.
We won't. We won't get
We want everybody to take care of us either.
Nope.
Oh, you just want entitlements that you paid into for the whole entirety of your working life. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
How unreasonable of us.
Yeah, weird.
About to get real angry for no reason that has on a subject that we shouldn't even be talking about on this podcast.
You know,
Let's move on.
You know what you would do if you had an Infinity Gauntlet right now? Snap.
Snap. Would not be random though.
No. Nope. Hey, why would we be talking about the Infinity Gauntlet again?
Again. It's like Infinity Month over here.
Where'd this come from though? I'd be like, I feel like somebody decided we were going to talk about Infinity Gauntlet.
It's almost like there was somebody ran a poll and there was a list of things they could choose on that poll and they chose it.
They did.
They did?
They did. It's the Grawlix poll list. We have one, and it was on there, and it won.
What?
Yeah.
What was on there?
The Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Marvel
It was.
Marvel Infinity Gauntlet was on the Grawlix poll list, which you can find at grawlixpodcast.com.
Yeah, it was, and it won because I don't know, because people wanted it.
How did it even get on there? Can people add things to this poll list?
Yeah, I think it was Brandon.
Just read it. Anytime there's I think it was Brandon.
Everything we read is Brandon.
Brandon, this is your doing, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's been on there for a while though, but
It's been on there for a long time.
So it
finally
could have been.
made
It
it.
could have been.
see,
I don't know.
if this teaches you anything, it should be about perseverance.
Usually, if Brandon adds something, though, it's like Spawn or something that he's like given us some warning on. I think
That's true.
he'd be like, "We got to add some Spawn on here."
So then this
I was
just
like,
must be
all
some
right.
random person that was like, these people haven't read this. What's wrong with them?
That could be, yeah.
Probably because we do. We're like, no, we haven't read this ever.
Hey, listener, you know what we haven't read? Batman. Not that I'm feeling some Batman or anything, but maybe Batman.
Maybe, but let's find out for sure.
It's been a while since we read some Batman.
There is no Batman currently on the list unless you count Trinity by Matt Wagner, because technically that's Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's Trinity? Oh. Should have
I'm pretty sure.
tilted the scales a little bit. Should have tilted the scales on that one.
But you didn't, right? So let's see
I didn't.
who did and where it landed.
Who's winning? What are we reading for July?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
That's a great
Well-
question. Hey, you know what? It's All-Star Superman.
Oh, really?
Yep, big time.
Did you hear the excitement in the owner's voice? Oh, really?
I am interested. In second place is Saga. So will we do like
Wait.
volume 2?
Yep.
Because
Oh
we've
my gosh.
already done Saga, but
Somebody added Saga again, so
That's rocks.
yeah, so that'd be volume 2. Because we did volume 1. I don't remember which episode, but we did volume 1.
Yeah, that rocks.
all
Let's
right.
do volume 2. I'm not even sure if I'm done with volume 2.
Really?
We
I don't
see
know.
how much more excited we are about August.
I don't know what they break up into. I've only read like a couple years of it.
I know last month, volume 2, volume 2 would definitely be, that'd probably still be within the first year that it was being published.
Okay, well then.
They're only usually like 6 issues.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so then yeah, I probably have.
And I ain't promising no omnibus reading in a month.
Yeah.
Nope.
I know I think I said this last month, but listeners, at one point our poll list was getting pretty slim pickings, and we kind of give a call out for people to add some stuff, and you guys did big time.
Oh yeah.
So thank you. That's awesome. There's a lot of stuff on there now.
Are there? Yay. Thanks.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. There's a lot of interesting stuff too. A lot of varied stuff.
I'll have to look someday.
Both Infinity Gauntlet that we're talking about this episode and All-Star Superman were like the two big name things that have been on there for a long time. So they both had like way more votes than a lot of the other stuff, because the other stuff's the new stuff that just got added. So
Right.
So I think we're through the bulk of like some of that might even be first year editions, like that's been on the poll for literally years at this point.
Yeah.
I
But
think
that's just
we've
because-
gotten through all of that. Now this is all stuff that's at least second year.
Yep.
At least year 2.
So is All-Star Superman like all the different Supermans?
No.
No.
Should be.
Is it Grant Morrison?
Yeah.
Grant Morrison.
I like Grant.
You like Grant Morrison?
But I'd like it better if it was like all the Supermans fighting each other.
I have not read All-Star Superman, but I have seen, and I know I'm sure it's different, but I have seen the DC animated feature based on it.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Have I?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I know I didn't make you like watch all the anime DC, especially like Superman. I don't know if I'd have like been like, "Hey, Melanie, you want to watch this, huh?" But some of the older like maybe Justice League and Batman ones I watched with you.
Yeah.
I know I've read like the first issue or two of All-Star Superman, but I haven't read like the first. It's basically one volume, right?
I think so. I think it's just like a limited like a miniseries or something, right?
Yeah. So I haven't read all of it, but I have read like the first 2 or 3 issues or whatever that first like mini arc is with Lois.
Okay.
Spoilers.
Lois is in there.
Lois is in it. In a Superman book. It's weird.
You just ruined everything.
I'm sorry. I am sorry.
That was the big twist.
Whoops.
Oh, can I sidetrack us for a brief moment?
Sure.
I finally watched Split.
Oh, yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, I only waited 2 years to watch it, but you know, and I'm not one to just jump on poo-pooing on M. Night Shyamalan because everybody does. I'm all about poo-pooing M. Night Shyamalan because he's a disappointment in general.
Yeah, me too.
But like, I was thinking about it, and for real, like, not since like Unbreakable was the last like movie that I consider a good movie that he did, and it was only his second one.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's done stuff. There's just always something. There's always something about the movies. Like and why I say he's a disappointment is because I think as a director, like in terms of like shot construction, and he always works with great cinematographers. The cinematography is almost always amazing, and his pacing and stuff is pretty good. It's just as a writer, he needs to get out of his own behind.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Stop being a megalomaniac.
Yeah. So, and there's always something. Like The Village was okay, but I don't know.
I was just say, like, Village was probably the last one I enjoyed. And then I saw Signs, and that was the last one I went and saw.
Yeah, Signs was the first disappointment for me. I was like, oh. And again,
That sucked really hard because it started off, and I was thinking it was going to be okay, and then it was not.
Yeah, he just...
And Lady of the Water owes me an hour and a half of my life, okay?
Yeah, no doubt.
That movie owes a lot of people. The Visit was okay.
Is that the Mark Wahlberg one?
No, that's
okay.
That's
you're thinking.
I was to say nobody
Happening.
liked that one.
You're
The
Visit was
really minority there.
no. The Visit was the like kind of like found footage style. It's not really found footage. It's the kids are taping the movies. What the kids videotaped, where they go and stay with their grandparents, and things are weird.
Yeah,
And there's a twist.
there's issues that I have with that.
I don't even know what this is. Like, I just gave up after Lady in the Water. I was like, no more.
It's really not bad, but it's kind of a case of like you expect total garbage from a story point of view.
Right.
And it wasn't that bad. There's one scene at the end where it's just like he couldn't help himself. Get that out of there. Get that out of there. He's a hammy guy. He's hammy.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. But Split, yeah. So Split has hammy moments. And I kind of expected that.
McAvoy, so you forgive it.
Yeah, like McAvoy's so good. And there's so many... The thing with that movie is I think it works despite M. Night Shyamalan because there's so many points where it could fall on its face so hard.
Mm-hmm.
But at least for me, it didn't. It still worked. Like I thought it was good. And I knew that there was the whole tie-in thing.
Mm-hmm. I think we talked about that on this podcast.
Yeah, because I hadn't planned on watching the movie.
Right.
Was it tie-in?
Spoilers for Split, which we've already spoiled on the show before, but everybody knows. At the end, it ties into Unbreakable.
Oh.
His other good movie.
Okay.
Or his
Well,
best
maybe
movie.
I should watch it then.
And so the next movie will be, it's going to have Mr. Glass. It's going to have Bruce Willis's character. It's going to have the Beast.
The cinematic universe.
It's a cinematic universe.
Cool.
So what would that, the M. Night universe is actually kind of a good title, but well, I wonder what that would, I guess it'd be the Unbreakable universe. I don't know.
The Shyamalaners.
Shamalamers. The slam.
Maybe
lost
it
it.
would be like-
Hey, welcome to Shlamiverse.
The disappointingly realistic superheroes universe.
So if the premise is stupid, then so's everyone's favorite movie.
Right? You know what? Maybe he should stop. They're going to ruin Unbreakable.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Also, I kind of can't stand Bruce Willis at this point.
He hasn't been in anything in a long time, I don't know.
You know who ruined Bruce Willis for me? Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith. Yeah, his stories did not help, but
it totally broke the glass on who Bruce Willis is. And
is
I
he
was
a
like,
mean person?
He's awful. Even to people he's like nice to previously.
Well, even Stallone, like they did the Expendables movie, and Stallone had enough of him.
Oh,
and called him out in a tweet or something, but called him out because Bruce Willis wouldn't do the next Expendables movie unless they paid some like insane amount of money, but he would only work for like 2 days or something. And he's like, I'm not going to pay you that much to work for 2 days. Like either you come work for like a week or something, or you're not getting that much. And he wouldn't do it. So Stallone called him out. It's like, he's greedy and lazy. Done with him. It's like, wow. Okay. Greedy and lazy.
Yeah.
No, he just sounds like a big jerk. Well, okay. So he sounds like a big jerk to people. I guess for some directors, this isn't the case. So I think the whole Kevin Smith thing obviously sounds like he had no respect for Kevin Smith, which is,
wouldn't surprise me.
Which is fine, I guess. But like, why agree to do it then?
Right.
Because because in the movie that Kevin Smith, it's not a good movie either. Cop Out. It's like the one Kevin Smith movie that he didn't write.
Right.
He was just trying like.
He's the opposite of M. Night Shyamalan?
No. Oh, well, Shyamalan only does movies he writes, but.
No. I'm saying he shouldn't do movies that he writes, and Kevin Smith should only do movies that he writes.
You're right.
Yeah, for
you're
real.
Right.
Yep.
Man, Shyamalan just needs he needs a script editor or somebody to be like,
Kind of like George Lucas, man. Like when he had other people basically keeping him in check, his movies were brilliant. And then when he could do whatever he want, he made midi-chlorians.
I think that's true of a lot of artists in different ways, where some people need restrictions. They need to like be reeled in a little bit.
Yeah.
So ever since like that whole thing where it's just like, okay, Bruce Willis is kind of a jerk, like in his performances, like even that he's in one scene in Split at the end and he doesn't like do anything, but just the look on his face. Yeah, maybe it just soured me on the Bruce Willis look, but I'm just like, oh, he just looks like a jerk now.
Yeah.
He seemed, part of what was interesting about him in Unbreakable is just he seemed broken. He seemed vulnerable the whole time.
Right.
As, which is an interesting juxtaposition between the fact that he's invulnerable,
Yeah. But he's emotionally vulnerable.
But McAvoy was cool. McAvoy was good. And what's her name? She was in The Witch. I can't remember her name. The actress, the lead actress in that. I thought she was good too. Lead actor in that. She was good too.
Why can't we call them actresses now?
They don't like it.
Why?
I don't know.
It's stupid.
I'm not an actor.
It's just dumb.
Don't separate them based on their gender.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a thing. I don't know when it happened, but it happened. So.
Well, I don't like it, so they can get over it.
I don't think they're going to.
Well, I'm going to keep calling them actresses so they can suck my, what?
Oh, hey.
Hey. So about that book that we were reading.
So this episode, we're talking about Infinity Gauntlet. Infinity Gauntlet is an American comic book published by Marvel Comics. The story was written by Jim Starlin and penciled by George Perez and Ron Lim. I'm sorry if it's Lim. Lim? It was initially released as a 6-issue limited series from July to December of 1991. Also, did not realize this was technically a 90s comic. It felt very 80s to me.
It did.
I mean, 91 was still kind of 80s, but... And according to Wikipedia, as the main piece of a crossover event, some plot elements were featured in tie-in issues of other Marvel publications. Okay, I guess I didn't need to read that, because that seems obvious. I had never read this. As we discussed, if you listened to last episode, which why didn't you?
Yeah.
Loser.
Then you're missing the tie-in.
Yeah, exactly. This is Infinity
yeah.
Month. This is like jumping to issue 3 of Infinity Gauntlet. You don't know what's happening. So, man, I wish I could have made that Infinity podcast thing work. Anyway.
But in hindsight, how in the world would you have done that?
I don't think it would have.
No.
I don't, not the way I was planning, to where I was going to break up each issue and like do a podcast for each issue. That would not have been fun.
No.
But it would have been like big. I was planning a big crossover thing.
Well, we can do something like that some other time.
We will someday, but it'll have to be based on a better core concept than that. So, yeah, as I said, I'd never read this before. I read half of it, and then we went and seen the movie, and then I read the other half.
Do you think the movie colored your opinion of the book?
Not really.
Okay.
No, not really. It's kind of interesting reading half of it, not having watched the movie, and then the other half after watching the movie. I think the movie maybe helped me get through the second half a little quicker.
I don't know.
Really?
I say that because I watched the movie before I read any of the book, and the second half was still easier to get through than the first half.
Of the book?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Okay.
Because the first half of the book is, here's this person and this person and that person and this person and this person and that person, and I don't give a crap about any of those people.
It did take a while to get like actually moving.
Right.
Things
and then
happening.
The second half of it is, stuff happening. Well, some of that is a little too, but enough of it's good that it keeps going.
Okay, interesting. I thought maybe it was just because I'd seen the movie. Good call. Jesse, you had read this a long time ago?
Long time ago, yeah. So some of this was like rediscovering it because I'd forgotten some of it. And it's, it's such a product of its era, like Doctor Strange having like a minotaur in his house kind of thing.
It was kind of awesome. I want that in the movie.
Right?
I was like, who's this big guy? That's funny. It is weird, though. It's very weird.
And then Gamora in her costume from the era, I was just like, whoa, totally forgot about that. Like totally different. And like the Guardians aren't even a thing at this time. Like they're a thing, but it's a totally different group. It's not the group that we're used to, because Gamora was part of the Infinity Watch. So yeah.
But now they have nothing left to watch over, so.
Yeah.
Melanie, what did you think?
Of the book?
Yeah.
I kind of liked it.
Really?
Yeah, the beginning of it was crap, and I could do without most of it. They could shear off a big chunk of it, and I'd be fine. And maybe even some of the other stuff. But I liked where they went with the characters, at least some of them. And the things that I predicted were going to happen, that did happen, I was still okay with because they should. So, yeah.
How did this strike you? Like, how do you remember feeling about it when you first read it versus like now, Jesse?
Like now it feels much more dated. It feels much more a product of its time. Whereas at the time it was just awesome because it was all my favorite characters in one book, if that makes any sense. It's just like, I don't know, like it wasn't unusual because everything in that era was kind of big and crazy. You had the Living Tribunal, you had Eternity, you had all these cosmic elements all the time in the comics at that time. Now we don't have any of that hardly at all. Like if we do, it's because there's some crazy space crossover that happens, but we have much less of that now in the Marvel universe. And obviously not in the MCU until now. So like the entity of death, she pops up once in a while, but like back then, all that stuff happened a lot more often in the books, like Silver Surfer, basically, and then Infinity Watch after this. So you had these characters kind of popping up all the time. So I don't know. It was a little, it felt a little dated, but it also it still feels like pretty solid writing overall. So in terms of how Marvel like to do big crossovers, I still feel like this is one of their better ones.
Yeah, I would agree with the one other thing that we read. Didn't we read one? Yeah. Or is it?
You might be thinking like one like Crisis DC, Crisis on Infinite Earths, maybe. This had, for me, this had like definitely had flares of that. Like it did feel like that kind of big crossover event where it's kind of very much like that. What year was Crisis? It was late 80s, right?
I don't know.
I think so. I think Crisis was before this because didn't Perez come to Marvel basically to draw something like this? Like I think there's a story behind that. Like they brought Perez over to do the art on this book because he was well known for doing Crisis on Infinite Earths, and so it's like, okay, he knows how to do this many people in a panel, this many people in a splash page.
Yeah, it definitely had shades of Crisis on Infinite Earths to me. And I know that this is only one, like it's the core miniseries, but it's just one small portion of like the larger Infinity event. But I would agree, the beginning of this felt kind of drawn out, where it's just like this person, this person, this person, this person. And it was like, I don't care.
And it's just Thanos like staring at the universe and talking to Mephisto.
Yeah.
And then
Mephisto?
Mephisto, Satan.
Okay. Okay. It just sounds funny the way you're saying it to me.
Yeah.
Well, you say it.
Because I don't know. Mephisto?
Oh, okay.
Because it sounds like he's saying Miss Fisto. Like,
Don't assume Satan's gender identity.
Well, maybe he is Miss Fisto, and I suppose that would be a Satan-like thing to be.
The whole actor-actress thing all over again.
Yeah.
But that said, this felt less drawn out than Crisis did. So I kind of appreciated that.
Yeah.
Especially once things kind of got into it. Like Crisis, this goes on. When the big final conflict is at least 2 of the issues, it seems like.
It is.
Maybe 3. Yeah, I enjoyed the final conflict. I liked, aspects of the first half of it or so where, just there's little bits of stuff that I thought was kind of interesting. We don't stick with one character for very long, but I like the Hulk and Wolverine on the roof, just having a little chat.
That was a good scene, yeah.
Yeah, even though it's brief, I like that. I thought that was good. And not having read a whole lot of Marvel stuff, I like the idea that they're kind of a dynamic, that generally they don't get along, or they haven't got along, and that makes sense to me, but also kind of is the same reason they do a little bit get along, at least here. They're outcasts.
So yeah, the opening stuff that I really kind of get to the point already is the return of Gamora, Pip, and Warlock. That takes forever, and nobody knows what the heck is going on.
Yeah, I agree. And
I didn't know.
And then even after I was like, wait, what? Why? Well, why?
Honestly, I remember there being a thing there. And then I was like, what's that there for? And then later it just was gone and I didn't.
Yeah, they didn't explain it very well either. So basically they escaped from the Soul Gem and they're being reborn. So you have that whole cocoon thing.
Okay.
That was not clear.
Yeah, no. So the old guy that was balding, then the girl that was turning green slowly, and then the cocoon. That was Pip, Gamora, and Warlock. But they didn't really. It must have happened in a tie-in book where it was blatantly beat you over the head with it. This happened. Otherwise, you were just supposed to connect the dots, and I don't think that they had enough dots.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree.
Thanos, I found interesting.
Yeah,
because he's so. And maybe we can get in. We got into it quite a bit last episode. Maybe we can get into it a little bit later in this one. But he's just so overt villain. He just wants to do evil. He wants to do evil. If he had
a mustache, he would twirl it.
And he wants Mistress Death or whatever to be his gal. And that's his motivation. And it's so, I don't know, the death thing took me by surprise. I was like, wait, what? This is his motivation?
And I honestly, I don't understand why she was mad at him, but I'm okay with her being mad at him. Mm-hmm. But I still don't understand why she was, especially after he did what she asked him to.
I was just say it never is clear, is it?
No, she says almost nothing the entire thing.
I don't think she says anything in this,
which is kind of part of the problem.
Yeah.
She just gives mean looks the whole time, like a woman would.
Wow, Melanie.
Yep.
Well, must be true. A woman said it.
Yep, and women don't lie.
Nope. So he has the power glove, whatever, the gauntlet.
Yeah.
He has the Nintendo
the
power glove.
Fred Savage, the wizard. It's all tied in.
Yeah. Cinematic Universe coming up.
Yes.
It should be.
Yes.
Infinity War and the Wizard.
Yes.
It's happening.
Do it. Write it down.
Oh, man. Okay, so. Yes, do it. Thank you, Melanie.
Mm-hmm.
She is going to write it down. His little speeches at the beginning were unnecessary. And I wasn't really on board with him until he set up that shrine for Death and tried to went about trying to impress her. And that stuff I kind of liked. I kind of enjoyed the turning the one guy into a block and the ribbon thing, and then arranging.
He was like a teenage boy about it. He was like, "No, look at all the great things I can do."
Yeah, it was so ridiculous.
Why don't
arranging
you love
the planets.
me?
That stuff was, I mean, it was goofy, but I thought it was kind of fun. And occasionally it'd cut away from that. And I'm like, no, I don't care about whatever squabble over here. Go back to that. Yeah, that was fun.
Right.
It was.
But it was so ridiculous. I just couldn't believe that was the motivation once. And it gets to it pretty quick. Mm-hmm. I was like, wait, really?
That's what started this?
Are we supposed to assume that Death is some kind of sadist or something? Because he seems to think that people being tortured and whatever is going to impress her. But I'm like, but she's Death, so why would she care about any of that? She wants them dead, you know?
Oh, and he was way off base like the whole time. He was just clueless.
Yeah.
And she didn't give him anything to work with at all, which is kind of frustrating as a reader because you're just like, okay, well, he's not going to get it, and she needs to give him something to forward the story. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't ever. But I like that Mephisto was, on one hand, like helping, and then on the other hand, kind of playing his own like coy game, you know, manipulating him a bit.
Like and the whole, well, you're fighting them with your extrasensory powers, so that's not even a fight at all. Maybe if you got rid
that
of
was
them.
so transparent. I'm like, oh, Thanos isn't the brightest crayon, is he?
Don't go in there, Thanos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I kept waiting. I'm surprised it took like blatant, like, I kept waiting for Thanos to get wise to Mephisto, and maybe he did the whole time and was just not concerned about it until he actually made a move.
I don't think he did. I think when Mephisto like went after the gauntlet was the first time he was like, what? How could you?
Yeah.
Which is a little surprising.
He's omnipotent, though.
Well, apparently not.
I mean, they talk about that later on in the book. It was like, well, I knew that this was going to happen because this is how it always happens. They play that time loop thing. It's like, well, how come you didn't know then? I also, there was like, calling back to the movie, I kept thinking, well, not kept thinking, but for like a split second there at the very beginning of the movie, I thought, oh, they're going to make Loki Mephisto.
Yeah, that kind of would have been cool, but...
And then it totally went the other way. So when he gets to the snap, like when he finally decides to do it at the end of issue 1, what do you think? I almost feel like it's more impactful in the book because you got Spider-Man like swinging over the city, and then like he's literally like up there looking, doing his whole like pouty version of Batman. And then like half the people are gone and they start freaking out. And he's like, oh my God, Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see like actual superheroes disappear in Avengers Tower or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I thought it was, I liked that when it did happen, there's not like a big lead up for it. Like, I mean, it establishes that's what he was supposed to do. It's not exactly like that, but take care, like kill off half the population of the galaxy. Mm-hmm. Or universe, but I like that when he finally does decide to do it, like it's just something he'd forgot about, and he's like, "Oh, okay, oh yeah," and then he just snaps his fingers, and it happens. And it's like this huge catastrophic thing that he just does offhand, because out of obligation to, like, oh yeah, maybe that's why she's mad because I haven't done this yet. Mm-hmm. I like that. That's what it was.
I love that it's nothing to him. Really, it makes it so much harsher.
Yeah,
and the fact that nobody knew it was coming, because it's always scarier when it's like out of nowhere. I don't think either the book or the movie they spent a little time on it, but they didn't spend a whole lot of time talking about what's going to happen when people just disappear randomly. I mean, like, some planes are going to crash and this is going to happen, but there's way worse things than that are going to happen. What if somebody's in the middle of surgery and then they just disappear and, you know, somebody's laying there like all opened up with a scalpel laying on them?
No, well, the book, and that's, I think we even said something a little bit like...
What if somebody's having a baby? What happens? Do they both disappear, or does one of them stay?
Oh my God.
I don't know. We touched on this a little bit last episode, I think, but the book, it doesn't dedicate a whole lot of time to that aspect. They do well about when they disappear, and it does have impact, but then it moves like so quickly from that to the next catastrophic event, where he like wigs out and where Thanos freaks out and has sends the sonic shockwaves through the universe, and it I love the like cosmic level destruction stuff, but it knocks the Earth. Sorry, Will Smith for a moment. Knocks the Earth off its axis.
Off its orbit.
Orbit, yes. Maybe axis too. You don't know.
Okay.
So people don't even really have time to deal with that before more catastrophes happen.
And they don't even realize, most of them, I think, that happened because of a couple comments that they have people make there. They're like, it's snowing? Oh. Like, yeah, it's because you're all about to die.
This has the same problem that any, especially big 2 comic book, but big crossover book like this has, where right away, as soon as it like catastrophic things happened, I'm like, this is all going to be on reversed. Like, what that would have been second issue where like cities are crumbling and stuff. I'm like, none of this is going to matter.
Trump Tower gets put under a tidal wave.
Or
not tower, not tower, but one of his hotels.
What was it? Yeah, Trump. Yeah, specifically Trump. Like, yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. They destroyed solar systems just to fling them at each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a not nice thing to do. Even the good guys are doing that, I mean.
Once the like
Celestials?
the big cosmic forces came in.
Yeah.
That stuff, I like it. I don't know. That stuff, I like how they handle it here.
Mm-hmm.
Because when it comes down, like when it comes to for them to fight to where it's this big cosmic thing where they have forces that you can't even comprehend, I like how the comic book handles it because they don't give you a chance to try to, like, it's not like these big beings, and they talk up these big beings and then it's just a fist fight. No, it's like the entire universe just becomes flashing colors and everybody's just like reeling and like you don't see what happens. And I like that they handle it that way because it's like, yeah, it enforces the idea of like they're so powerful you couldn't comprehend what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so we're not even going to show it to you. It's just going to be crazy streaming colors throughout the universe. I thought that was cool.
You know, one thing I think they should have done? They should have held back on letting us know that everybody before the Celestials was just like a distraction and they planned on them dying. You know, that kind of cheapens it a little bit.
I mean, he did hold back onto it till shortly before they went into the fight. But yeah, he should have held back onto it till after the fight. Mm-hmm. After they were like being defeated.
Or maybe when some of them had already been defeated and there were only a couple left, and then one guy's chomping at the bit, then be like, hey, I knew all along this was going to happen. This is planned, so stop it.
That's one thing, though. I kind of hate that. I hated that whole thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, this one character somehow has all this knowledge, knows how it's going to play out. He's playing the game, but he's not going to tell anybody.
Yeah, I don't even really know who that guy is. That's part of my thing, but...
Warlock?
I don't know. Okay, I know his name. But
no, yeah, I'm just clarifying for the listeners.
I see. But I don't know who he is. I don't know anything about him. I don't know why he would... You'd think maybe like the Monitor guy would know a little more. Give him the gauntlet.
He won't get involved.
Exactly.
The Watcher?
That's exactly the point.
Or the Watcher.
Yeah. That's why he should be given the gauntlet.
But he won't do anything with it.
Right.
Okay, I see your point, but...
It would make a really boring miniseries.
I see your point, because no matter who has it, it's not going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
Correct.
Except for maybe him, if he's really not going to do anything with it.
Exactly.
Which really plays out in the aftermath of the Infinity Gauntlet, but I mean, we're jumping ahead a little bit there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. You're fine.
But, whatever. I suspected some things that were going to happen, like the gauntlet getting taken from Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, somebody's going to nab it because he's going to try to go all cosmic-y.
Well, we kind of allude
she's
to
going to be the one who
we
nabs
haven't even
it.
mentioned that Nebula is there. But
Yeah.
not Nebula, what's her name? Amy Pond that we're used to. But like...
A gross one.
Yeah, like zombie Nebula.
Yeah.
Pretty grotesque. It was good art, yeah.
As soon as he brought her in there, I'm like, oh, she's going to take that away from him.
I didn't catch it right away, but like once like the fight starts happening, it keeps cutting to like a close-up of her, whereas like up to that point, you're kind of given that she's not totally brain dead. Like she's supposed to be aware, so she's suffering, but she just doesn't seem with it.
Uh-huh.
She's just wandering around a corpse, basically. But it kept cutting to like close-up of her reaction to stuff, and I'm like, oh, nope, she's aware. She's gonna...
Yeah.
Nobody's paying attention to her, except for the reader occasionally for some reason, and that's what gave it away.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask a question, and then I realized the answer. Like tying into what Nebula does, the fact that she is the one that takes the gauntlet from him when he isn't like paying attention, like he's too caught up in his own like cosmic machinations to realize that he's left his physical body with the physical gauntlet still on it, laying there. But Taraxia, the girlfriend he makes for himself despite death.
Uh-huh.
Like I was like, where'd she go? Oh, yeah. because when the first thing, well, I don't know if it's the first thing, but like immediately what Nebula does is reverse everything, like make it go back to the way it was. And so in that case, she's gone. She was never created.
I did like though that she did that without thinking about where she was.
Right. So she gets turned back into this zombie looking thing.
And for a moment, I'm like, oh, did she just really screw herself like that? And then she like is aware enough to like revert herself to normal. So,
but the thing was, she was smart enough to say, "But I still have the gauntlet."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because that would have been the thing that would have screwed her up.
Oh yeah,
it matters. She turns into a zombie if she's got the gauntlet on. That's how she got to be herself again, anyway.
It's kind of like those, like the genie wishes, like be careful what you wish for.
He said that too.
Oh yeah,
and then he tried to stomp on her, and it didn't work. Do you think that they're going to do anything like that when they go to fix the movie that they just made?
I don't know. That's what I was kind of hinting at. Do you think that that's the way it'll go?
They have
wait. Spoilers for Infinity War movie.
Oh yeah, that's
proper
right.
Spoiler warning.
Yeah, I don't know. They did make a point of him torturing her quite a bit, and
her breaking loose and not really coming into play the rest of the movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she's gonna. I don't know if it'll play out exactly like that, but I think she's gonna have a hand in it.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I really hope they do.
Pun intended.
Yep. I'll claim it.
I hope they go celestial with it a little bit.
I don't know that they will, but I do too.
I totally want to see them make the sky like turn into a cloak and there's a person there. That would be amazing.
Oh, eternity, yeah.
Oh,
that would be rad to see that.
I like those as with all characters, Marvel and DC universe they basically have slight variations of the same characters across the board.
Yeah.
I like when both universes bring in big cosmic beings. They're so cool. The artwork's always awesome. I like the thing they do with a lot of characters where it's like mostly their outline, but like their detail is just like a galaxy, like stars and stuff. Like it's just so cool.
I don't understand some of the characters though, like that love and hate thing. That was not cool.
Some of the characters are lame, but
yeah,
the cool characters are cool.
Yeah, that's true.
When the stranger is like, nice try. You basically stole this idea from DC and then did it poorly.
That is the stranger, right? Like it's the same character basically.
They call him the stranger. I mean I don't know what he does, but
I mean I think the stranger in DC's a little bit different, but he still most of the time is involved in the cosmic stuff. That's like when he'll show up.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. Whatever. Marvel, DC they have weird stuff going on. They have weird rights things going on. Like Captain Marvel and Shazam coming out the same year.
Yeah.
Next year.
Right.
Where they're both technically Captain Marvel.
But Shazam is funner to say.
Shazam, way more fun to say.
Yeah.
How about that Dr. Doom?
Guy's a jerk.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. We were talking about like, at least he's honest, right? Like he doesn't hide his intentions at all. No. People call him out and he's like, yeah, I'm Dr. Doom.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
I even did that on the Instagram account. I was like, the Doom abides. He's like, no, yeah, that's totally me. that's in my nature.
Yeah. Like, I like that he's not deceitful.
Nope.
He's just evil.
Yep.
That said, I just want to be like, dude, maybe be a little deceitful so that we can avoid this drama.
Yeah.
Like, this would go better if you didn't help like spur on the drama. And also I was also like at a certain point just kick him out. Like he's not
right.
Like at one point they even threatened to, like, at what point is this like, are you more counterproductive to being here than not being here? Yeah, no doubt. But I understand like Dr. Doom's supposed to be, super smart and stuff, so
you don't have
they would bring
like
him in there.
Reed Richards is one of them that disappeared, so you got to have somebody, I guess.
I was laughing at the arrogance of Thanos.
The arrogance of Thanos?
Yeah, because...
What's he say?
This is the other person, Mephisto. My humble personages bows before your grandeur. I'm proud to be your first acolyte and bask in the glory of your divine presence. And he's like, this is Thanos. The moment is upon us when the stars must come to realize the absolute truth of your words.
No, you're right. Yeah. That's funny.
Well, the Thanos in this and the Thanos in the movie are totally different in that regard.
Completely different. Yeah. Well, I mean, the ending, and more than that, the how they overcome him, sort of, where he goes, I don't know where he goes with, what's the one guy's name again?
Warlock?
Warlock?
Yeah. Wherever he goes with Warlock and they have their little chat, and the guy's like, yeah, you keep losing because you know you're not good enough, or whatever, basically kind of a thing. Which is a messed up thing to say, but apparently is true. And he comes to terms with it.
That he loses on purpose.
Subconsciously at least. That was great, I thought. I thought that was fantastic, and I thought, the way he took it and then ended up being, sitting there on a farm or whatever, being simple and being happy about it, that I thought was fantastic also.
That was the best bit of character work.
Yeah.
It was like the only real bit of character work for Thanos, but right at the end. But yeah, no, that was good. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. That's the reason I like the book, is because of that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it okay.
Yeah, he really is like such a different character in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said last episode, like I think they could have ratcheted up his evil a little bit. I mean, he does evil deeds, but like in Black Panther, where you have a villain who's not 100% wrong in his logic, and ultimately is trying to do what he feels to be a good thing.
Who doesn't mind being evil to do it.
But doesn't mind being evil to do it. And like Thanos obviously doesn't mind being evil to do it, but they need to throw a couple more scenes of like overt evilness.
Yeah, like instead, he should have just kicked Gamora off the cliff.
Well, yeah, yes and no. Like they kind of drug that a little more than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
But that did surprise me a little bit, that they played on that he does have, like he's not just on feeling.
Yeah.
He does have emotions.
Darn it.
But maybe throw in a couple more evil deeds after that.
I think just nix all the bubble nonsense, even though it's funny. Maybe at least once nix the bubbles. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
should've
blow his head off.
I think they should have gone darkness with it, and he should have been like, oh no, I can't get the Infinity Gauntlets because I love no one.
Well, and that's kind of the way they were playing it, because Gamora starts laughing, she's like, well,
yeah.
How do you feel now that this is how it ends? Because obviously you're not getting that stone.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's slow to pick up what the Red Skull had already gathered.
Yeah. Which I think might be, I don't know how much about that. Because if he's going to have care about one person, I don't see how he could care so much about her and not have any feelings at all about the other one.
The other one's a disappointment.
It doesn't matter. That doesn't mean you stop loving people. She's a disappointment too.
Listen, this guy's got a thing for halves. He's got 2 kids. Listen, he doesn't have enough love to go around.
Apparently.
He's got to put it in half of his children.
It's not his child, though.
I doubt the other one was either.
They have to run the gauntlet. Literally.
Yeah. And I'm sure I'm just forgetting several things, even though I just read this not long ago. When it comes down to it, I mean, I think we touched on all the major things. We touched on the big catastrophe stuff that happens that's kind of interesting, and the kind of goofier aspect of Thanos' motivation, and then the interesting character twist with Thanos, or character but development with Thanos at the end.
Mm-hmm.
As for the heroes, other than a few moments here and there, there's not really much to say.
Mm-hmm. They did what we expect them to do, I think.
I just really hate that plot device. That, I don't want to say it's lazy, but it is. That plot device of like, well, this character knows, but he's going to withhold the information.
Oh, yeah.
For no reason. I understand why he wouldn't tell everybody, because he's sending most of them to their death.
Mm-hmm.
Silver Surfer, there's no reason he needed to withhold all the information from the server.
Yeah, there is.
Was there?
He would be like, no, I don't know.
Well, he ended up telling him like that aspect before it happened
I know.
anyway, and threatened that and risked that anyway. So I don't like that. I don't like where a character willingly withholds information from the reader just because it's a spoiler for the story. Like when there's, that's the main reason he doesn't say, is because then the reader would know.
Yeah.
And that kind of irritates me.
You know what kind of irritated me a little bit, and I don't know why? What happened to Death? Like, she just bounced as soon as the Celestial Source showed up or something?
No, she was around. She was protecting the brother, Thanos' brother. Also,
wait, yeah, she did put him in a bubble, huh?
She disappeared when Nebula like reverted everything to like once everything was reset, she disappeared as well. But then she showed up again when all the cosmic entities attacked.
Oh, I also liked when she got the gauntlet and like stopped and like had Thanos like stuck in the bricks or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I just like the conversation there. And Thanos was just very like, I don't know, he was pretty relaxed through that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why they were so worried about her being evil, because as far as I could see, everything she did was not evil.
Yeah, they were worried about her like losing it, and she kind of got her senses fairly quick.
Mm-hmm. And maybe if they didn't have celestial gods attacking her, she wouldn't lose her stuff.
Well, I could see them not wanting her to keep it, but she did okay with it initially.
Yeah. Of course, what's his name? Warlock didn't want her to keep it because he wanted to take it for himself.
It is a little shady.
Well,
It is.
and in the end, like it doesn't happen in this, but like spoilers for beyond this, they have to go before the tribunal again, and the tribunal rules that Warlock is unfit to keep it.
Good.
So that's what creates the Infinity Watch, and he's forced to basically divvy out the gems. So he keeps the Soul Gem, which he's basically part of, and everybody else, like he gives Drax the Power Gem, and he gives Time. I think Gamora had Time Gem. Moondragon gets the Mind Gem because she's a telepath. Pip the Troll, he gets the Space Gem. So he could just teleport wherever he wants. And then he gives the reality gem to some unknown person, so that there's at least one that's like totally hidden.
I enjoyed, what's her name? The girlfriend that Thanos conjured.
Taraxia.
She didn't just disappear. He did not give her the ability to like survive in space.
Yeah.
So then when him and her
right.
got shot out into space, she died.
Right.
I thought that was entertaining.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I thought that was kind of funny.
You'd think that he'd have to do it before, because maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but they were on like a tiny little
rock in space.
I wouldn't think it had its own atmosphere, but I guess I was wrong.
A rock in space that Strange had to like conjure a spell so everybody could survive in space to go out there. Yeah, I know.
It's not even a very big rock, really, if you think space-wise.
I guess so the superheroes when they fight Thanos. Mm-hmm. I kind of enjoyed that bit. I thought it was okay. And the whole time you've got Thanos' brother there, like kind of doing a narration about how they have no chance. Oh, maybe there's a little chance. Nope, that chance is gone. There's no chance. Well, maybe there's a little chance.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, the slimmest of chances. This could be it. Nope, no chance.
Yeah. And
It sounds ridiculous, but I did kind of actually enjoy it.
well, they kept doing that stuff too. Like Thor was about to die, and then he gets his hammer, and he goes back, and then he kills him right away. You know?
Yeah.
Keeping you on your toes.
In the end, though, Thor does get to knock him into like another universe kind of thing, or galaxy or whatever.
Oh, I forgot to talk about this last episode. The freaking new God Axe is awesome.
Oh, you like it?
Much rather
yeah.
an axe rather than a hammer. Hell's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pimp, and he seems to use it well.
He's got a Groot arm.
Even though he forgot his lessons from the frickin' movie and was not using any of his god powers the whole time.
That's the thing. You know what? You got me on a tangent.
Uh-oh.
The whole point, like his kind of character arc in Ragnarok was that the hammer, well, part of it is the hammer doesn't make him who he is. He's not the god of hammers. So what the heck? What's the point? Also, wasn't part of like Mjolnir, other than the fact that it was made in the heart of a dying star, the part of what made the Mjolnir so powerful is that it was like had a special magic thing from Odin on it. This axe don't have no magic thing from nobody on it.
Maybe it's got some magic from a giant dwarf.
And why does having the axe bring him to life? That was some supreme cheese.
Yeah.
Where he's like dying, and then it's like, no, hurry up and get him the axe. What does the axe do?
Because his magic from being Thor got burned into it through the dying star that he had to hold. I don't know. I mean,
no, you're probably right. You're probably right.
Yeah.
But they do make a big point in Ragnarok of like, he doesn't need it to then be like, he needs it.
Yeah.
No. He needs it to fight the Thanos.
Yep.
Well, if it gives him confidence, let him have it.
Although when he did show up in Infinity War at the end of the big battle,
it was.
I was waiting. It was good, and I was waiting for Led Zeppelin, and it did not happen.
Yeah, I kind of was too.
I totally was. I was like, do it. Like I know it'll be cheesy, but just do it because it was awesome. Coming from the land of the Islands now.
Yep.
See you later, new Doug.
Man, that movie's so good.
That's the director. That's the part that just continually blows my mind. Is Korg
Yeah.
is the director.
Yep. Yeah, I'd watched this interview with him, and apparently he's from, is it New Zealand?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is New Zealand.
Okay, I don't want to mix it up.
No, he's very much Maori looking.
And apparently that's like that accent is like a New Zealand thing. I don't know if it's like they're Southerners, you know how we kind of like will make fun of Southern accents here, but that's like a local accent that apparently is funny or something. I don't know, but I was just like, I don't know anything about the specific accent. I just love the voice and the character. It just works with a big rock guy that sounds like that. It's so good. That guy's great. I want to know what else he's doing. Watiti something Watiti. I can't remember.
Taika?
Yes. Yeah, he's good.
Mm-hmm.
What We Do in the Shadows was great.
Mm-hmm. New Zealand is great.
Korg is
You were there?
great.
Yes.
Kiwi is great.
What else we got about this? We're just talking about about
we're
movies.
just talking about Thor Ragnarok again.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Like, yeah, I don't know. So I'll put my bow on it. I enjoyed this story, even though like I didn't know how it was going to pan out, but I knew it was going to get reversed. But that's just kind of the risk. That's all these big events, like in the big two, when it's like all these characters are dead. It's like, no, they're not. This was like 28. This is 27 years ago, and these characters are not dead. So I know it's going to get reversed, but it is of its time. The narration wasn't bad. Like there's a lot of unnecessary stuff at the beginning, but there was some amusing. Like the writing wasn't totally stilted. It was kind of amusing.
Mm-hmm.
And when things finally were going down, I basically anytime it went to Thanos on that like floating rock, I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
The other stuff wasn't bad. It's always fun to read crazy cosmic destruction, but it was like, okay,
Yeah.
it's not a mind blower. It's not the first time I've read this almost exact scenario. So
Yeah.
it was okay.
It was a fun thing to revisit.
I think that it was decent, and I like things where characters are shown their true selves and they can accept it.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's any justice in the world, though, they will give Nebula back her old self, because it's really messed up to leave her that way if they do.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I will say, because I mentioned that, it reminds me of Crisis on Infinite Earths, but not as drawn out, not nearly as convoluted. I mean, it was a little convoluted, but not nearly as convoluted, and I actually kind of appreciated that, because Crisis
Yeah.
Yeah.
was a little overcomplicated at times.
I think the payoff was better in Crisis, but yeah. As far as a tight-knit story goes, I feel like this was better for that.
And as like just one part of a huge crossover event, obviously there's lots of spaces where they could you just jump into the story. There's obviously a bunch of stuff that happened leading up to it.
Right.
But once you're there, I didn't feel like I was necessarily missing stuff.
Yeah.
It obviously left it open to where there could be all kinds of side stuff going on, but it didn't feel like, and of course I don't know all the Marvel characters, but it didn't feel like I was missing essential parts of the story that I was reading because I wasn't reading on tie-ins.
Except Warlock and Gamora and Pip.
Yeah.
That part was underdone.
That's true.
I was
Good
like,
point.
what's going on? Unless I was reading an abridged version of this, but I don't think I was.
No, you weren't.
No, it just, because I didn't know, it just throws these three characters at you who are not them.
Right.
They get in a car wreck and then something's happening.
Yeah. I at first I was like, is this like is part of the like horror series of Swamp Thing right here going on?
It did feel like
yeah,
that.
a little bit, yeah.
And then it took me a long time, even after they got back to whatever, to realize that was supposed to be Gamora.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's green, but so what? So is Hulk.
Right.
I mean-
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, the artwork. We haven't really touched on the
And
artwork.
there's a shift like halfway through or somewhere in there. Like it goes from Perez to the other guy because Perez came in and he did all that like super like everybody's here stuff. And then he was like, nah, I'm done. I'm done with this.
Well, I mean, I don't recall specific things from the beginning, but the end of it I thought was really pretty and flowy. And I like that.
I mean, I like the comic style. Maybe it's not classic comic style, but it feels like classic comic style. But that's probably my age, because when I was a kid, that 80s comic book style was the style. And this very much has that look still.
Well,
And there's a lot of the Kirby style cosmic characters. I like the coloring. The color was awesome.
Yeah.
Galactus, his hat is so dumb. I can't stand his hat. But man, his colors are on point.
Yeah.
He's just a blue and purple. It's so cool. He looks awesome except for that stupid hat.
Just take that hat off.
There's a lot of detail though.
Oh man.
Yeah, the shots with all the characters, but also just like that monument that Thanos is chilling on. There's all the skull detail and all the crazy stuff, like super detailed. Looks good.
25 years makes something classic, so
Oh, this is definitely classic.
yeah. So it is classic. There you go.
And this is 91. It felt very 80s to me, but 91, like I said, is pretty much still the 80s. Takes a while before you really drift into the next decade. Takes a while before the extreme.
This is not part of this, but it's an offside. But at least you and I don't know about Jesse, but you and I are claimed on the internets and media by like 4 different generations.
What do you mean?
Like some people, when they define a generation as.
Oh,
So we could be X, Y, millennials, and then there's one other one that I didn't even know existed. But all 4 of them list us as.
that age, that year, birth year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in a weird middle spot. I've heard people refer to Xennials or
Zennials,
something.
yeah.
Which
I'm
is
technically
like
in that group too, but like I identify more with the X's, except that I'm a little more tech savvy than some of the X's.
I don't know whatever comes right after that.
Yeah, I've never really.
I'm down on freaking millennial though.
Problem is, like, I kind of don't mind that, like, the millennial thing. It's just the issue
like
of
the word millennia.
no. Well, I don't know, maybe, but it's just the issue is somebody who was born in like 99, which is, I believe, around the last year or so that they grouped millennials into. It's to have a way different childhood than I had.
Yeah.
Somebody with anybody born post internet, where they grew up with the internet and cell phones, way different. So that's the main thing I feel that separates.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking also. They should have like a thing that separates this time from that time. Like before cell phones and internet were widely used, that's the generation, and the other ones they're the only one that is actually clearly like this is a thing is the baby boomers.
Right.
And it was some kind of event, that
It was a post-war baby boom. We were teens all through the 90s, so appropriately, we don't have a generation. It's just nothing.
we're
Grunge rock.
we're like the we're the grungies.
The grungies. Yeah, I never felt like a Gen Xer.
I feel like that's a callback to the last episode. It's like a foodie, but not a foodie.
You have to wear flannel or we're not getting it on.
Yep.
Mm.
Maybe a
that's
hood or a vest.
Yeah, maybe.
Depends on the vest.
Or if you have pants that go like super big, like hula hoop big, and then you have giant pockets all the way down your leg.
Cargo.
I'm okay with that
Huge
too.
cargos.
I have moderate cargos right now.
No, they gotta be huge.
Can't even buy. I mean, you can buy those, but I never had the pants where it was basically a skirt on each leg.
Yeah.
But I did used to wear them pretty baggy.
Yeah.
I like them.
No, really. The skirt on each leg was ridiculous.
Like
but I was still like, how do they do anything in those pants?
Not well.
Somebody's like, those are skater pants. I'm like, how do you skate? How do they skate in those?
This is the most impractical skater pants.
Exactly. I'm like, no, they just want to look cool or something, but I don't know.
For skaters who can't skate, they just like run real small steps and pretend there's a board under there. That's dumb. So dumb.
But the imagery in my brain is awesome.
Great. That's what I wanted.
Like they're like little ballerinas in their tutus.
Hey, would you recommend this comic to people?
Sure. No, I would, but not to everybody. Like usual. I'd recommend this to comic book people. If you didn't already like comics, I wouldn't have anybody read it.
And superhero comics in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is most comics, dang it.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, fans of superhero comics specifically.
Yeah.
Because there are comics fans that aren't into superhero stuff.
Like me, but I still read them.
And I wouldn't say just if you're a Captain America fan, you're going to be underwhelmed by this, but he has a moment.
Yeah,
he has a good moment.
People are pointing to that moment in the movie towards the end where
Like a hammer.
Cap finally shows up and he actually holds him back for a moment.
Yeah.
they kind of point to this moment in the comic because I guess I kind of read past it without thinking much about it, but I guess that's kind of a big moment because Cap he's a superpowered human, but he's not super powered.
Yeah, he's not like Superman superpowered.
And he, after seeing Thanos take all these other characters out, still like just walks right up to his face. So, it's that kind of thing, I guess.
His power is the power of good.
And
What is it? The fifth element is the element of heart.
Yeah.
Heart.
He gets to have a little
He's
monkey.
the Captain Planet of the Infinity Gauntlet.
Wait, Yep. Right. We nailed it.
Yep.
This review has been successful.
I think so.
And then we'll go,
I think so.
they're all trees.
Infinity Planet. Or Captain
the
Infinity.
War Machine comes out and turns everybody into trees. All right.
God, I hope that's how the second movie ends.
It better be. It better be. Letters page. Hey, send us some email. We'll read it on the show. letters@grawlixpodcast.com. If you want to send us a voicemail or a voice message, you can send us MP3. Also, there's a phone number.
Insert here.
Insert phone number. I'm not going to. It's just going to be that.
Okay.
And leave a voice message. So, moving on.
Hey guys, it's the Zigman and Zach Tagus, and when you finish it up listening to this great podcast, make sure you head on over and check out Shotgun Wrestling Radio.
That's right, we're new to the EMC Podcast Network. Over at Shotgun Wrestling Radio, we give you the latest news in professional wrestling.
That's right, we cover WWE, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, and more. Want to know what's going on in the events in the Iowa Independent scene? We cover that too with our Pro Wrestling Calendar.
That's right, Zigman. Not only do we cover that, but we also have a wide variety of interviews with pro wrestlers, both past and present. All our interviews can be found on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Shotgun Radio and the number 1.
We hope you'll take the time to give us a listen, and remember to give us a like and follow on Twitter and Facebook at Shotgun Radio and the number 1.
This is Jesse. Hey, Sparkles, here's the deal. You want to get back to Grawlix Place, Grawlixburg, Asgard?
This has been Randy. I love the Power Glove. It's so Grawlix.
This is Melanie. Then we shall make it the Grawlixest ending in history.
Thank you for listening to the Grawlix Podcast. The Grawlix Podcast is a production of the Electronic Media Collective and Vorpal Arrow Studios. For more Grawlix Podcast, visit grawlixpodcast.com. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/grawlixpodcast or follow us on Twitter at grawlixpodcast. We're also everywhere. All the time. All at once. Is there any way to end Infinity War or even Infinity Gauntlet in a way that is not slightly disappointing?
I don't know.
Because you don't want everybody dead.
Right.
But on the other hand, like just to reverse it all, it's a little disappointing at this point.
I don't know what they'll do. I mean, like they'll have to do something with the gems, so they'll have to separate the gems somehow.
Everybody just go back.
Maybe
They shall have a little-
Maybe the original Avengers become the new Infinity Watch, and they just like maybe they're just spread out amongst the universe, so they're not really dead, but they can't ever be back in a Marvel film because they're off making sure that the Infinity Gems are not in play.
Sweet paychecks aside, I'm sure some of them are tired of playing those characters.
I think the only one that probably still wants to play it is Thor. Like Chris Hemsworth seems to be legitimately having fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's finally hitting his stride in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's like, I can't make me stop now. Gosh.
Yeah, this is finally good. It's finally good
Well,
character to play.
what would you even do? You broke Milner, so
He's got the new Warbringer thing.
yeah, but I mean, like, it's not like a whosoever is worthy can hold this hammer kind of thing anymore. It's like, I made a hammer for myself.
Yeah.
It's not a hammer, it's an axe.
I made a hammer axe for myself.
One side's flattish.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, well, whatever.
I'd still say it's more
You-
axe than hammer because
you can pound some nails with that.
Yeah, it's got a Groot arm.
Got a Groot arm.
Whosoever can hold this Groot arm without being kind of grossed out.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Hey, wouldn't that disappear too?
Aw.
You're right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
I don't know.
So does Eyeball.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. We don't know who the eyeball actually came from.
That's
though.
true.
Raccoon's butt.
Boy, it didn't grow there.
Who knows? Maybe it's like a potato.
That was pretty gross, man.
Yeah.
I was a little bit like, ew. I know it's just a joke, but gross.
Yeah.
It's in his eye.
Well, I think the good ending would be everybody comes back, but they all have that little piece of death in them, and they all want Thanos because he was supposed to, whatever, be their lover, and so they take him with them.
Lover?
Kind of like a foodie.
Yeah.
I don't even think we recorded that foodie stuff.
So they all go
Probably
get a piece of him. There you go. Bam. It's like
That's just
it's
called
like
back
zombie
to old time Grawlix.
zombie
We had
apocalypse on
pre-shows that
Thanos.
nobody knew.
Except they're alive.
We have pre-shows that are so exclusive, nobody hears them.
Yep.
Well, that's it. I guess we ended the show.
Yeah,
huh?
we did.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.